You're listening to Gin and Chat with Lo and Nat. So pour yourself a chilled martini and sit down for a chat.
Cheers. Welcome back to Gin and Chat
with Lo and Nat. And by the time you're listening to this, we will be in Cabo.
Cabo, baby.
Ay.
Drinking cervezas en la playa.
Period.
I know a little bit of Spanish.
That's actually a goal of mine. I am Hispanic. My mom's first language was Spanish, and I do not know Spanish. I've never been to Mexico either. I've been to Nicaragua because my family's there, but I've never been to Mexico. So by the time you're listening to this, I'll be in Mexico for my first time.
And
I'm excited.
Have been to Cabo, Tulum, Puerto Vallarta, Puerto Rico, Miami, Colombia, and I used to dance for a reggaeton artist. Listen.
She's actually probably more Hispanic than I am.
I'm actually part Hispanic. Little did you know.
Fully tanner than me. I know. I always am like growing up, I was like,
yeah.
I know I look very white. Like my natural skin tone is super white, and my mom is a little bit more pale, and so is my grandma.
Yeah.
However, when you go to Nicaragua, there's either like my cousins and my uncle got the darker tone skin, and then there's also like the lighter tone dark features.
Yes.
And that's where I fall under. I'm also Italian, so it's like I also get the like lighter skin, darker tone features from them. And that's why everybody thinks my lips are fake, but they're not. That Grace blessed me with these lips.
Set the record straight. No lip filler over there. I know you're jealous. And I do tan very easily.
You do, yeah. You tan way more easy than me.
My alter ego, this is my ballroom name, but also it could be my Hispanic name.
Yes, literally.
Natalia Swarovski.
Well, my mom's name, like she goes by Grace, but it's Graciela. So it's Graciela Maria Roa was her name. But when she just went by Gracie growing up, and then obviously like it's Graciela Crocker.
Also,
so she goes by Grace Crocker.
This is going to really eat me alive, but I did say pregunto in the beginning, which is actually question, and I meant to say poquito because I know a little bit of Spanish, but I said pregunto, and I don't want people to come for me, so I corrected myself. Don't you fret. I know what I'm talking about.
I also, just disclaimer today, I'm feeling a little nasally.
She's a little under the weather.
I do have a tissue right here that I may have to do.
And that's okay, because she's real. So
I'm a real person.
We're going to let her
sniffles, okay?
We're going to let her blow her nose as she pleases.
I get the sniffles. Hopefully when Cabo, we will not be sniffly there.
We will not. But as you can tell from our little intro, we're going to talk all about travel on this episode.
Natalie and I have traveled a lot. Obviously, you just toured the world. So
I literally just went around the world.
Around the world in 2 years.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. So I really knocked off a lot from my bucket list in the past 2 years.
I don't know why.
Mr. Worldwide.
Love Pitbull.
We love Pitbull.
I had a friend in high school who was obsessed with Pitbull and would try to get all of our like friend group to go with him to Pitbull concerts.
I love it.
No one ever went, but honestly, they look so fun.
That sounds like a blast. We should go to a Pitbull concert.
I know a girl who danced with him and it looked amazing. So
that would be so fun.
Yeah. Put that on the to-do list.
On the bucket list. Add it to the bucket list. But yeah, Lauren and I have traveled a lot of places, and we also have some advice for like traveling for dancers, traveling for work, things like that. So that's kind of what we want to talk about today.
Like traveling in general.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I feel like my parents really were like, we're going to travel with these kids. Like they did not cut their trips short because we were there. Like,
love that.
We took the flights to Europe. But my dad, when I was like maybe like 13, 14 years old, he wanted to have a bonding day. And he said, let's watch a movie together. I was like, great. Guess what movie we watched? Taken. Now, if you've never heard of this movie, it's literally about a girl traveling with her friend to Europe. And they get taken and put into like this like sex... I don't know if I should say all
I was like, well,
it's like very dark, and he ends up like he's on the phone with the guy who's taken his daughter, and he was like, I will find you. and I will kill you.
Yeah.
And he goes to Europe, and it's this whole quest of him finding his daughter.
Crazy.
And, like, whole crazy for a 13, 14-year-old to watch.
Oh, yeah.
But that was like the bonding that me and my dad did.
Totally something your dad would do.
100%. My dad's in, like, you know, he was an army man, artificial intelligence, all of that. He's definitely in that world. So he was like, this is great. And I remember thinking afterwards, I was like, because my dad's like an affectionate guy with me, and like, definitely like doesn't, you know, he's an Italian man. He's like, I
he's a
love
softy
my daughter
when he needs
so
to be.
much. But I was just like, you can just say you love me. Like,
You don't have to force me to watch Taken.
Go through all that. But lesson learned, because I was like, I'm never going to let a random man take me from the airport to my hotel and know where I'm staying when I go with my friends to Europe.
Oh, yeah.
So that was ingrained in my brain.
That's hilarious.
You know?
That's good. Yeah. Safety is definitely very important.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely don't think about it maybe as much as I should. I will say, we'll just tell the horror story now. I got my phone stolen in Brazil.
Yeah.
While I was on tour. It was a horrible experience. I don't recommend it to anyone. And you know what's funny is they literally warned us. They were like, it's super common when you're traveling to Brazil for phone thieves to be out and about, and they just drive around and they will literally snatch phones from your hand. So I had this in my head when we were going out, but I love to lead. I love to be a leader.
Yeah,
I was trying,
like phone in hand,
I was trying to do a good thing for the people, and I was with a group of people. I feel like there was like 5 of us, and I kid you not, I thought to myself, like, I had my phone in my hand, I had a tight grip on it, and I thought, I'm just gonna lift it up for 2 seconds because I was looking at directions of where we were going to lunch. So I was trying to guide, I was trying to lead. I pick it up for 2 seconds, I'm on the corner of a street, out of the corner of my eye, motorcycle guy drives by, rips it out of my hand. You know what makes the story even better? It was freaking Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving. I was away from my family. I was in Brazil. I was hot. I was sweaty. I was exhausted. I had already been on the road for like
so long,
weeks at a time, and I was so ready to come home. And then I get my phone stolen.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm crying the rest of the day, frantically changing my passwords on the phone with my parents. And I was like, thank God I brought my iPad, because I ended up literally using my iPad as a phone. I literally
have to.
My friends took videos of me on my giant iPad, like, hello, can you hear me? So embarrassing. And the only reason I was okay is because I knew we were going home in like 3 days.
Right.
So I just had to make it 3 days. And luckily, none of my information was stolen. I was very blessed. I changed everything very fast, locked my phone down within 2 hours. You can erase your phone if you didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Through the iCloud, you can like erase all your data. So I ended up doing that, and I was fine. So
when we were in
lesson
Paris,
learned.
No, like, it's crazy. The thieves out there.
Oh, yeah.
Because when we were in Paris, I remember when I was little, my dad, like, we were at a cafe, he left his phone on the table. Some like child came up and swiped it and started running. And he literally chased down the child and got his phone back.
Oh, like, so here's the funny thing. I think in those moments you learn whether you're a fight or flight.
Totally. Yeah.
So I learned that day that I'm a fight. Against my better judgment. So what happened was the phone got taken, and my initial reaction, excuse my language, I said, fuck you, and I start sprinting after a motorcyclist as if I'm gonna catch the guy. I'm sprinting after him, and the locals are like, what's going on? Freaking out. Of course I didn't catch him. And then I realized in that moment, as I'm running, Natalie,
maybe
you
not
could
the
get
smartest.
Killed.
Taken.
I could get killed or taken. So maybe let's stop this side quest.
Right.
And I just had to let my phone go. And it was, as you know, in 2025,
your phone is everything.
It felt like the most private part of me was just being like stripped away.
I know.
But it was such a big lesson. And I feel like, yes.
I just know you, and I know that's going to bother you.
That's a good friend right there.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, you're gonna hate that on the playback. That's hilarious. Anyway, gotta look good for the pod.
There's literally like 3 strands of hair, but I was like,
that's hilarious.
Like, no, you're gonna be like, me here's in front of
But you know what? We learn things from experiences like that.
Oh,
like for example, now I have a phone strap. I've got cases that have these.
Look at this.
It'll never happen again. And you best believe when I walk around now and I'm like by myself, I'm like, you will never take my stuff.
I know.
So that was my scary, awful travel experience.
I feel like I haven't had like one like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really haven't. But
Blessed.
I am blessed for that. I mean, I feel like I was lucky growing up to like go with my parents,
Right.
too.
Totally.
Because we would do like summer trips where we would literally like, we did a road trip around England once.
Yeah.
Like we went to Monaco one time. So like we just did all these like big trips, and I feel very lucky to have done that with them. But yeah, like in my adult life, not really on my own. Like I haven't gotten anything stolen.
That's
Knock on
awesome.
wood. I know. I've never lost a luggage.
Wow.
Knock on wood. Like,
Actually, same.
Yeah, okay,
Shockingly.
okay.
Out of all the times I've traveled, never lost luggage.
damn, knock on.
I'm like, please. Yeah.
No, it's crazy.
No, I'm so lucky.
When I went to London with my two friends, Jordan and Mia, they both lost their luggage. Like,
wow.
And they had to go buy, like, we did a whole shopping day so they could buy stuff for the trip. And I was the one person who didn't lose my luggage. Wow. I was like, why?
That's crazy.
Thank you.
I feel like most of my travel experiences are through work, but I don't regret that. I always said like one of the reasons I wanted to become a professional dancer was because I wanted to get paid to travel the world.
Yeah.
And I did, and it was such a cool feeling. But like I started traveling for work when I was 16 because I used to work for a dance convention and my mom didn't come with me. So I actually like from the age of 16 started getting on flights by myself, traveling, staying in hotels. Like I used to stay with someone, so I had a roommate always, and like I had people looking out for me. But it really, honestly, I grew up so quick doing that, and I think I became so comfortable with the idea of traveling alone that the more like when it came time to do it for like a big job or for a long period of time, I was like, cool, let's go.
I think the part that it's not the actual like act of traveling for me, it's the packing.
Oh,
the packing I do not have.
I despise. And let me tell you, touring, the worst part is I just felt like I was never not packing.
Yeah.
It was a constant, I'm either unpacking or I'm packing. Yeah. And I hate that. It gave me so much anxiety.
When I did like a summer travel course at Chapman, we started in Athens, went to Mykonos, then went to Copenhagen and did like a full cruise, got to go to St. Petersburg. Like it was like an amazing trip. But afterwards my parents were meeting me, and that's when we did our like road trip around the countryside of England. So I had like literally another trip. I was basically in Europe the whole summer as well. And I remember everybody else just packed their like big checked bag. And I packed the checked bag and then the big carry-on and all the rest. And we had to take the boat from Athens to Mykonos. And getting off that boat in Mykonos, like I wish it actually reminds me of in White Lotus, season 2, when Jennifer Coolidge's character is like coming off the boat.
Totally,
all of those. That was me, and I was literally like falling over trying to get my luggage, and everyone was just like laughing at me, and I was like, "You guys,
it's horrible.
I have options.
I know,
and thank God because you're gonna be the ones borrowing it.
So you're gonna be borrowing it,
helping me right now.
I know. I'm a chronic overpacker, and people are always like, "What do you do?" What I have to say, my only advice is like, stick to your neutrals, neutral, because you can't go wrong, and you can always mix and match.
True.
And then my other advice is like, allow yourself before you go to like buy a few like a little fancier than normal, like some really good staple pieces that you won't get sick of wearing. Like for me, I know like an Aritzia basic, I'm never gonna get sick of it because it's good quality. I'm gonna keep reaching for it.
No, I am literally like, will pack like a pair of jeans, and then see as many tops as I can fit that go with that pair of jeans. And I'm like, great, okay, I only have 10 outfits. Perfect.
And try it on at home before you go and plan outfits out. Like even take pictures if that's something that you like to do.
Accessories, like be intentional.
Be intentional. But it's like, if you don't like something at home before you leave, or you're like, it's not my favorite pair of jeans, you're gonna hate yourself when you're across the world and you only have that pair of jeans to wear.
And if you know you're gonna shop, like we're shoppers, leave some room in your bag. Or because I've had many times where I've had to buy another suitcase.
And document your travels. One of my favorite things that I did, and I was so grateful, was I decided on the world tour that I was going to get a postcard from every city that I went to. So I didn't do it in the US, but I did it everywhere else in the world. And I was so thankful because I made the coolest piece of art. We'll insert a pic.
Yeah, it's really cute.
I just finished it and I put it up in my apartment, but it's all of my postcards from around the world. And it's so cool to look at. Like, if you have the opportunity and the chance to travel in your lifetime, you should, because it's like so cliche and everybody's like, it changes you, it opens your worldview, but it does.
And that's actually one thing that my dad was like, I just wanted to give my kids that bigger worldview. It's
beautiful.
I wanted you to know that your problems are bigger than like your hometown in a way. Like,
100%.
it's not, when you're a kid, like all you're focused on is yourself,
what's right in front of you,
is school, and you don't realize that the world is such a big place with so much opportunity. So I feel like that level of travel at that young age, like, do I remember everything? No, of course not. I was young, but like, I'm so grateful that it gave me that perspective on life, and also the comfortability to go travel on my own now, because when I went to go visit you in Vienna, like, I traveled alone, and I was also like walking around alone most of the time.
She was like, let me go pick us up coffees. I was like, okay, girl, thanks.
I know that I travel well, and I feel like that is a learned skill.
It is.
That you only can do by putting yourself in that position.
It's a different kind of confidence that you have to like acquire.
Yeah.
And you have to be aware and alert while you're still enjoying and living in the moment.
What like place where you're like, I have to come back here when I'm not working?
Oh, okay. A couple of them. But I loved Sweden. And
You said that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I actually have family, like my great grandpa, I believe, is from Stockholm, Sweden.
Okay.
So I'm like an eighth Swedish, I believe.
Cool.
So when I went there, I felt a little bit of like cultural connection. And to me, it was just so beautiful. And that was one of those places where when I went, I was like, I am not in the US anymore.
Right.
It felt very different. It really opened my eyes, and I would love to go back. And it was so unexpected for me because I just didn't know anything about it, to be honest.
Right.
And I showed up and I was like, well, I love it here.
Everybody thinks like the big cities, right?
Yeah.
But like for me, like Paris, Rome, like they're cool, but I love those like small towns.
Hidden gems.
100%. Yeah.
Another one for me was Zurich, Switzerland. I would love to explore more of Switzerland because, again, it was the same thing as Sweden, just very beautiful, very serene, very calm. The people were so nice. And I was like, I just need to spend more time here.
Cool. I love that.
That was another one.
So at this time, I'll have a nephew that's in Germany. So he's going to be raised in Germany. His mom, my sister-in-law, is Hungarian.
So cool.
And my brother is, Hispanic, Italian, American. So this baby is just going to get all of the cultures. It's going to be so cool to see.
Multicultural
I
baby.
know. And he's going to know Hungarian. My brother's he's like the smartest person I know in terms of languages, especially. He's already going to know German because he's going to grow up there, and English. And I'm like, that is so cool.
I already kind of know your answer, but do you want to learn another language?
Yeah,
and
of course. I want to learn Spanish.
Yeah.
I really do. Well, first of all, I should have taken lessons in high school, or just classes. I took fucking French. Excuse my French. I took fucking French because I was like, oh, I do ballet.
Right.
And this will help somehow.
This will help with my terminology.
Journey. Yeah, my terminology will help my turnout somehow. Yeah. Didn't. So I do not remember any French. That's
so funny.
It went right over my head. So I didn't even take Spanish growing up. But there are literally videos of me when I was younger talking with my family in Spanish. I would watch telenovelas with my grandma, but then my grandma moved back to Nicaragua and I just never kept up with it. It was just, I don't know, it didn't happen.
We've been saying we were going to do this.
Yeah.
And I think we should.
I think we should hold ourselves accountable right now and say that we are going to learn Spanish. Okay, we're learning Spanish.
Set the record straight. Yep. We are going to learn Spanish together.
There we go. I started kind of learning before my grandma passed away.
Yeah.
And then, because one of my goals was to be able to she had great English, but I wanted to have a full conversation with her. I think I might have said this before.
Yeah.
But then when she passed, I was just so sad. I couldn't even look at Spanish at all. But I feel like now I could definitely get back into it.
It's time.
And I think it is. I feel like almost it's weird because I know so much of me is Hispanic. I know so much of my heritage. My mom's literal first language is it. My grandma immigrated from Nicaragua, but there is a little bit of imposter syndrome or disconnect because I don't know Spanish and I don't look Spanish. I don't look. You wouldn't look at me and be like, she's Hispanic.
Sure.
So sometimes I feel not as connected as I would like to be, or I feel like I don't have a right to be connected. It's very weird. But I've actually seen other people on TikTok who have who have said this before, where it's I don't feel Hispanic enough to claim it. And like, I just kind of hate that feeling because like, no, I am. And I'm like proud of it too. But
I think learning the language will help you probably feel very connected to it. And also like going to more Hispanic countries and like seeing more of the world. Like, I think it'll just make you feel like,
because I've been to a lot of Italy, like where my dad's side of the family is from Lucca, and we've been there, and I've seen, you know, Florence and Rome, and like we've done the Italy trips. So cool. But Nicaragua I've only been to once, and I've never been to Mexico, South America. Like I've had a layover in El Salvador, but that's it. But I've never actually done that, and I would love to. I feel like that's
loved Argentina. That was another good one.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
I got to see some authentic tango, Argentine tango.
So
it was amazing.
So a couple years before my grandma passed, my mom and her did a trip. Yeah. And I can't remember where they went, but they definitely saw a tango.
So cool.
It looked insane.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
And the steak and wine there is phenomenal. So we did this whole excursion where basically you had dinner first. So you went to this dinner and it was like steak and wine. And then you went to go see the show after and you saw authentic Argentine tango. And we got to talk to the dancers. It was amazing. So we should go there together. It'd
okay,
really
I'm down. Yeah. I feel like I would, I think my favorite place that I've traveled to, it just depends on like what vibe you're on. Yeah. Because like Mykonos for partying is so fun. Like,
and I still haven't been. I want to go.
We need to go there together.
Yes.
And that's something I would love. But like there's this castle called Bovey Castle that's like outside of England that I've been to with my parents. They've been back already. I would love to go back. That's more of like a rest and relax. You just, like, go around the grounds and like have tea. That would be amazing.
There's different types of travel.
Yes, exactly.
There's vacations and there's travel.
Yeah. Like there's holiday, which I feel like is the party.
Yes.
Because I went to London with some friends and I remember we met some guys and they were like, wait, you're here on holiday? Like you're here in London on holiday? That's crazy. Yeah. And we're like, well, we're not like trying to like rage our faces off. Right. And they're like, oh, okay, you're not trying to go to Ibiza.
No.
We're like, not this time, but maybe.
Speaking of, I want to go to Ibiza so bad. Ibiza. That's on my bucket list.
Okay, I was dating this guy once when he did like a full trip. He did like a full like boys trip to like Ibiza. They did yacht week in Croatia.
While you were dating?
Well, it was, the lines were a little blurred.
Okay. I was like,
yeah.
Red flag.
We like broke up when we were when he was single. He booked this trip, but then we were like kind of back together. It was a whole thing. It's when he got me my Prada perfume and earrings.
Okay, work.
And
you're forgiven.
So we forgave
You are forgiven.
Yeah, so you can. But like when he was there, I was like, that looks so fun. Yes. Like, to do a girls trip there.
I was telling Lauren, and I know this is a silly reason to go visit a place, but there's this dress shop that everybody talks about in Ibiza. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like these sparkly, like ornate dresses that everyone, like they get them at this one shop in Ibiza. And I'm like, I have to go.
You know what my actual dream is?
Tell me.
Like, say, hopefully like 10 years.
Okay, I'm with you.
Husbands.
Love.
At that point.
Strong start.
Yeah. We have husbands who are fun and hot and, and are on our same wavelength with this.
Absolutely.
We rent a yacht. That is my dream. We get to like party on the floats, like off the yacht, you know?
Love.
Yeah. That's my dream.
Okay, I'm here for it. Let's make it happen.
Let's visualize it. Put it out there.
Maybe the podcast will get us there. Come on, guys.
We can podcast on the yacht.
Oh, brilliant.
Crazy.
Will you still be there with us in 10 years, guys?
Come on.
Let us know.
Let us know.
I love it.
Then.
Well, also, I was actually going to say it's funny because I feel like it's reversed, but I want to learn French now.
You do?
So I kind of know a little bit of Spanish, but it's funny because I actually took, I want to say 5 years of Spanish because I took Spanish in high school and a little bit in college, learned nothing.
Okay, also, why is that the experience?
No, our school system sucks for languages because they don't actually make you speak it. So you're not really learning it and you're not putting it to play in like an actual Spanish speaking country.
Clara, my brother's wife, knows English, Hungarian, French, I think something else, but she went to a French boarding school.
Insane.
And she, like, I'm like, everyone you meet in Europe, multiple languages.
Yes.
Yet not in the US.
If you talk to anybody who's not American, they most likely know multiple languages. But we are the only ones that just know English. It's crazy. But I was like, now that I learned more Spanish working for a Spanish artist and being in those places, if for like 3 months than I did actually in school. Wow. So I'm like, I would love to learn French though, just because I think it's a beautiful language. It is. And I will say, I mean, I loved Paris. I feel like I have a very like Parisian vibe.
Yeah, Paris is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Paris.
I would go back to Paris.
I've done so many of these cities with my family, which I feel like is amazing, but it's a different vibe.
Different vibe.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I've done all of these places working.
Yeah.
But I want to go back as like an actual vacation. So
maybe you're going to come with me.
I might.
Maybe.
I might. Maybe. Lauren's going to Europe.
Yeah, I'm seeing my nephew. So
yes. So by the time this comes out, she will have already been to Europe.
So my goal is to do a solo trip to Paris for a couple days.
Amazing.
Because I'm obviously going to want to spend as much time with my little baby nephew Zach as I can. So I feel like it's going to be hard for me to like fully like be like, okay, I'm leaving. See you guys.
Yeah.
So I'll probably take the train from Germany to Paris for like a day or two. So cool. I just feel like since I'm there, I don't know, I want to do like a solo trip in a safe way.
Empowering.
There we'll go together. But like, I feel like it would be fun. Like I envision me like on the train, like reading a book or journaling.
Fierce.
And, like,
getting a
croissant. And I can eat gluten there. The food is better
and the coffee's insane.
Yeah, the cappuccinos. Like, come on,
they're so good.
The big French cappuccinos.
I love it.
I know.
Ugh, insane.
Need to go back.
Wow.
Except they have no ice. Come on.
Okay, that really does kill me a little bit. It's the ice and it's the outlets. I'm sorry. Like, please let me bring my Dyson.
Dyson, Starbucks.
Yep.
Occasionally, actually.
Occasionally.
Ice is the main thing.
Yeah.
Ice is the main thing.
Yeah. But I will say it is very cool and eye-opening to experience other cultures, to experience other food. I think it's really good for people, and it makes you appreciate home too in a different way. Like,
but also like you do get a little homesick.
For sure.
I know you did.
I did.
I did. What like did you do to not get that way?
So one of the things I did was I think it's important to recognize things from home that you love that you can continue to do while you're away. So for example, I love candles and I always light candles at home. Yeah. So I legit had a travel candle and matches and I would light a candle in my hotel room.
Yeah.
I wasn't as consistent with it as I should have been, but I did bring it. I think having pictures of important people in your life.
Yeah.
At the time I was in a relationship and I did bring a framed picture of my ex-boyfriend and I.
That's nice.
That's nice. Anyway, moving on. But for real, it's good to have like pictures of people that are close to you because I think it reminds you of like home and feels like more like a home as well. Right. And maintaining somewhat of a routine. I did struggle with that. But if you can, set a routine for yourself, whether it's saying like, I'm going to get up in the morning and stretch for 10 minutes and then I'm going to do my skincare and then I'm going to journal or I'm going to read a book.
Yeah.
Having a routine like you do at home instead of just thinking like, oh, well, I'm traveling, so I'm going to do whatever. Free for all. Because the free for all can be fun, but then it makes you realize that you're traveling and you almost have to trick your brain. Especially if you're gone for as long as I was, you have to get into a routine where you feel like I'm comfortable, I'm at home, I'm okay. Because for me, it was a mind game. If I allowed myself to realize I'm so far away from home, I miss my family, I miss my friends, I have no routine, I feel chaotic, that's when I started to spiral. So I had to kind of keep a sense of consistency in my life in order to not feel like that.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I know, I always forget like how long you were gone for.
I do too. It feels like a blur.
I know.
It's so funny because it all just happened obviously in the last year. That was like the world tour.
Yeah.
But when I think about it, I'm like, that feels like a lifetime ago already.
It ended, that part of the tour ended in August.
Yeah.
So it was like you only had a few more shows after that.
Yeah.
And it technically...
And Canada doesn't feel that far away.
No, I'm about to sneeze.
Oh, no. It's okay. Let it out. Let it happen. We'll edit it out.
I'm like watering up this whole episode.
She's having like an allergy attack right now.
What's happening? I need Claritin D.
Claritin D, sponsor us.
Planning on my close-up while blowing my nose. I really appreciate you.
Claritin D, sponsor us.
I think I'm done now.
I think she got it.
They did the close-up on you, not
yeah.
me.
I'm like,
I really appreciate that.
Just
so much.
distracting from the nose blowing.
I know, it's wild. Claritin D is needed. And maybe, I guess, a Corona.
And a cerveza.
And a cerveza.
I always say cerveza because I think of Salsa and Beer. It's one of my favorite restaurants in North Hollywood. It is.
Where is that?
You guys, there's multiple locations, but it is so fun. They have the biggest, like those giant margaritas.
That's on, what's it called? Magnolia?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And the, is it? Or that's a different one. That's
I
a
don't
different
know.
Mexican
I lived
restaurant.
there for
I
3
don't think you
months,
ever
you
went to
guys.
Salsa and Beer with me, but it's so good. Like
I
food,
was a West Side girly.
the food is one of those places where the portions are so large that you know you're getting 2 meals out of it. And then it's the giant fishbowl margaritas.
Chipotle.
So you got to Uber there, obviously. Get like 2 margaritas and you're like walking out.
You're like, 2 margaritas means like 4 margaritas, right?
100%.
Yeah.
But it's
gonna
the
double that.
food is.
I'm kind of nervous for Cabo. Like, we're gonna get drunk.
It's gonna be so fun.
I just have seen those videos of like the guys, like you have the sash or whatever, and they're like pouring, or no, it's on your forehead and they're pouring shots, right?
You know,
Don't
that's
people
a
do that?
fabulous opportunity for us to insert a picture of me in college.
Oh wow, okay.
In Cabo, I had a sash. I did. I think it said something like, it said,
Doesn't it say like crazy
sorry,
shit?
mom.
Yeah,
Like, I swear mine said something about my mom.
You went twice, right?
I
for
did.
spring
I
break?
went twice for spring break.
Yeah.
Cabo is so fun.
I did. My spring breaks were so chill.
Yeah.
I went home for one spring break. I was like, see, that's the difference. I needed a rest and recharge. I went with
Yeah.
my big Maddie. We did like a resort weekend at the JW Marriott in Palm Springs with her family.
See, and I needed to rage my face off, apparently.
A senior year though, I was
2 types of girls.
I was gonna go to Cabo senior year and stay
Yeah.
at someone's timeshare. Adam Batat.
Oh, yeah.
He definitely doesn't listen to this.
Perfect.
I was gonna stay at his timeshare, and then COVID hit, so we had to cancel everything. Our whole lives we had to cancel, actually.
Well, I went to my friend Jake's house for spring break one year. I think that was junior year. And we stayed in a house with like 20 people. It was ridiculous. And the butler's name was El Rey. And he would shoot.
Not a butler. That's insane.
Guys, I don't know how this life found me, but it did.
Butler.
And he would squirt gun tequila into our mouths.
Oh my god,
Good times.
we were having very different experiences.
And I
last
tried an
spring break.
absinthe shot that he lit on fire. It tasted like a Sharpie. I really hated it. Don't recommend.
absinthe I had
Yeah,
in
nasty.
Athens.
Work.
Yep, we took it on the shuttle, like during our like school trip.
Wow.
We like downed that shot on the shuttle, and we were just drunk at the whole day. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not learning anything right now.
Sometimes, you know how you always say you're like, my life is a movie?
Yeah,
I feel like that too.
Yeah.
Like I look
Oh,
back,
100%.
I look back at my life and I'm like so grateful for the experiences I've had, but I'm
Yeah.
like, my life is truly insane.
No, like when I remember I was telling my sister-in-law's friend at their wedding, like some stories, like literally, I think it was literally just like us in Vegas, like the things we find ourselves
something
into.
normal to us.
Right, exactly. And I'm like telling her this story. And she was like, oh my God, that's crazy. And I was like, no, it's just like a normal weekend in Vegas. And we were talking about like some DJ experience, whatever. And she was like, you make it sound easy. And I'm like, no, it is. I don't know how this shit finds us, but it does. It does.
It really
And
does.
next thing you know, you're in Cabo with a butler.
So listen, El Rey, look out for the Cabo vlogs, guys. They're going to be good. And you best believe we'll give them to you.
So yeah, we should break this down really quick. We're going to Cabo with our 2 friends, Josh and Barrett.
You remember Barrett? We talked about him,
We
the
talked about
entrepreneur.
him. Yeah,
we wore the shirts.
The Just Kiss will run later.
Yeah.
Or Just Run Will Kiss later.
Yeah,
There we
that
go.
one.
Yep. I was like, I got
Find
that
it.
confused. And then we're going with Josh, and he has a place out there, and he was kind enough to be like, let's fucking go to Cabo.
But we call him Josh Summit because we
Yeah.
went to see Decadence with the 2 of them.
Yep.
And
we had
so
a great time.
we had a blast.
It was the first time we were all hanging out that weekend, and they're Arizona friends.
Yeah.
And like they were so chill.
They're so fun.
It's gonna be a great week. Few days in Cabo.
And we told him we were just kind of joking
Yeah.
about the Cabo thing.
So joking.
And then
so joking.
the
But
next
also,
thing
like,
we
kinda
knew,
not.
Josh Summit was like, I bought a flight.
No,
and
he
we were
texted
like,
our group chat. And he was like, "So Cabo, these dates, I just bought my flight."
And we had no choice but
Who
to
are
say
we
yes.
to say no?
Who are we to say no?
I'm not gonna be a Debbie Downer with that. I'm
Never.
gonna get my ass to Cabo.
Never.
So I was like, "Am I going from Europe? I have like a day to repack straight to Cabo?"
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Never say no to an adventure, people.
Yeah.
That's the takeaway from this episode.
We're definitely going to have to get like an IV beforehand.
Oh, yeah. We'll be smart like we always are.
Yeah, we always are.
Within reason.
100%.
Should we finish with our Q&A?
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
I read your mind.
Okay. You're in a bar. Let me paint the scene.
Okay.
You're in a bar. You're in a bar.
I'm in a bar.
What song would you collectively ask the DJ to play? Collectively, so the two of us.
Ooh.
I think we know. Should we say it at the same time?
Oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm scared. I need it. Oh, really? We're going there?
Right?
I don't know if that's a good, like, karaoke song, though.
No. I don't think karaoke.
Oh.
I think we're just at a bar. Like, we want him to play a song.
Oh, okay. Oh, shoot.
Let's just...
But which one?
let's say...
Should we just say an artist or should we just say a song?
Well, let's say an artist.
I was going to say Dancing Queen if we were going karaoke.
I don't do karaoke.
Oh. Lauren refuses to do karaoke.
No one wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that.
So I'm going to make her do karaoke in Cabo.
Actually, the one time I've done karaoke was in college with Piper, and we sang a Taylor Swift song. I'll find the clip.
You know what? My second option was going to be You Belong With Me because
I think it might have been that.
who
or Love
doesn't
Story.
know the words to You Belong With Me?
You belong with me.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to do karaoke in Cabo.
All right.
Perfect.
And we'll play Dancing Queen. So we'll stay true to our thing. I was going to say like What a Life by John Summit.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right.
Anything by John Summit.
Anything by John.
You guys know where I stand.
Do we think we would have... Ooh, wow, I didn't read these before, obviously. Do we think we would have been friends when we were younger?
Okay.
How much younger are we talking?
Hot take? No.
No. Well, even we were friends, but we weren't
But
this close.
here's why. Is because, yes, we've already proven. Like, we knew each other a decade ago, but we weren't that close. But it's because we stayed in each other's lives and grew at the same time and became the versions of ourselves that we are today. That's why we're so close.
Agreed.
So I think if we would have met when we were kids, when we were completely different people, I don't know if we would be friends.
I don't think so either.
We might have been friends, but I don't think we'd be like best friends.
100%. I don't think we would have stayed as close.
Everything happens for a reason, and I think you came into my life at the time that you did
100%.
for a reason.
100%. I agree.
We trauma bonded.
We actually did. Last question. What is something we would tell the 25-year-old versions of ourselves?
Oh,
25.
that wasn't that long ago.
Let him go, girl.
I'm like, how old do you think we are?
Let him go. That's
Let
what I
him
would
go.
say.
Oh, I would say the same thing.
I would say you gotta let that boy go. The boy that you think is a man that's actually a boy, you gotta let him go.
I would say let him go, and I'm proud of you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say I'm proud of you. So my 25-year-old self would know that she's proud.
I would say also you just go through the grief, and it's okay to do that.
Okay, work.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
I
We'll
think that's
see you
where
in
we wrap it
Cabo,
up.
everybody.
Should we play the song to finish?
Of course. Circling back to the song. Gin&Chat.
I think I'm going to dance to this.
Low and Nat.
100%.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope you had a great chat. Lo and Nat can't wait to have you back.